What's good, y'all? Jimmy from Just the Facts here, and as y'all can tell by the title, we about to talk about the truth about the GOAT conversation. So, as y'all know, the last episodes aired this past Sunday, and I mean, throughout the whole time, there was a lot of debate, there's a lot of arguments back and forth, as expected, about the Jordan LeBron GOAT debate, whatever, right? And I'm just here to really expose the real truth about the GOAT debate and why it doesn't really matter, and why it's not even really valid, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna get into that, but before we start, make sure y'all like, comment, share, subscribe, and we gonna get right into this thing. Okay, first of all, I know this isn't gonna happen, but we can stop comparing players and just appreciate the greatness that they all bring to the table. Like, when all these guys retire, nothing else will matter besides they're great players, you know what I mean? Like, all the debates, like, it's not definitive who's the greatest. It's not definitive who's better than who. Like, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. Like, and that takes away from a lot of people's appreciation of most of these superstars nowadays, you know what I mean? Even in today's game, like, so many people comparing Russ and Dame, or they're comparing Giannis and Harden or something like that. And it's like, man, let's just stop all that and appreciate the greatness that they bring. You know what I mean? Just watch, sit back, and enjoy the show. Like, is that hard to ask for, man? Like, I don't know. But to get to the MJ Braun thing, it's not really fair to compare MJ to this era, because he was in an era in which shooting wasn't a priority, in which it was tougher back then. Defenses were made to be more physical, and the game was slowed down. You know what I mean? The game was super slow in the 90s. You had big men that were the center of all these offenses, okay? And now in 2020, where we have shooting everywhere you look, people are playing 5 out now, pace and space, and a lot more, just a lot more 3-pointers being thrown up there. It wouldn't be fair to Mike, because, like, he'd probably be shooting more 3-pointers nowadays. You know what I mean? But we don't really know that. But if I had to guess, I would say he'd be shooting more threes nowadays. And to say he'd average 40 is kind of a stretch, okay? So, but he'd average around a solid 32 to 35 points a game. Like, just because, like I said, the floor is more spread. He's going to be shooting more threes, and the defenses aren't as physical as they used to be. Comparing LeBron to a 90s isn't fair, because LeBron's a physical anomaly, okay? But he wouldn't have been as big if he was, like, let's say, born in the 60s and then played in the 80s and 90s, okay? Because of the weight training, because of all the different skill work that takes place today that didn't happen in the 90s, you know what I mean? And LeBron, as we all know, didn't come in shooting the 3-ball particularly well, right? And now he's turned out to be a pretty good shooter. He would have never developed that 3-point shot because he didn't need to at the time. So how can we really gauge how good he would be if he was playing back then? I'll just come out and say Jordan is my GOAT, just for the simple fact that, okay, I'm gonna put it like this: Jordan is the greatest player of all time, but LeBron is the best player of all time. And you might be thinking, okay, greatest and best, the same thing. In my opinion, it's not the same thing, okay? Greatness is the legacy you leave behind, the impact, the dominance compared to the competition you're playing, okay? Jordan went 6-0 playing against superstars every year in the finals. You know what I mean? It's not like he played against scrubs. Like, he was so great that all these players ended up without a ring during that era. Malone, Stockton, Barkley, like, all these guys, Ewing ended up with no rings because of Mike. Solely because of Mike. You know what I'm saying? Going 6-0, like, and never letting a finals go to a game 7. Like, that's just what I think. But LeBron's the best player of all time, because just the individual aspect of playing the game. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron is just, like, on the court, he's just so, like, he's more well-rounded than Jordan. Okay, not a better shooter. I mean, he is a better shooter. Okay, better passer. Like, he does everything. You know what I mean? But Jordan held that dominance, you know. But LeBron is, I don't know. I just see LeBron as a better player because he can do more than what Jordan could do, you know. And I think that's a byproduct of today's game. But just going off of that, Jordan is the greatest player of all time, and then LeBron is the best player of all time. You can get mad about it, argue about it. Doesn't really matter, but that's just my opinion. People try to debunk Jordan's competition just because none of those guys ended up winning a ring during his time. You know what I mean? Like, people are gonna say LeBron's competition is way stiffer. Okay, that's true, but the argument people are using for that is that, oh, Jordan played against plumbers, Jordan played against mailmen, Jordan played against accountants, or whatever it was, right? People don't realize the great teams that Jordan played in the finals. Stockton Malone Jazz, Sean Kemp, Gary Payton, Barkley and the Suns. Like those teams seem like lesser teams now because guess what? They never actually won a title. You know what I mean? If they had won the title, if they've won the title over Jordan, then people would be like, oh, Jordan played some great competition all of a sudden. You know what I'm saying? You see that little difference between winning a championship and not winning a championship? That's why Jordan's my GOAT, because, I mean, he ended up winning a championship every time. You know what I mean? We just got to go off of what it is. You know what I mean? Like, Jordan won more than LeBron. That's just the facts. You know what I'm saying? Literally. But if I had to switch LeBron and Jordan, I'd say that, let's start with LeBron. I'd say that if LeBron was on the Bulls instead of Jordan, I'd say LeBron still probably wins 6 rings. You know what I'm saying? I still say he wins 6 rings. I'm not gonna lie, maybe 7. Okay, if Jordan and LeBron switch spots, LeBron would be the GOAT. I'll just say that. You know what I'm saying? You got to go off of what actually happened. You know what I'm saying? You can't go off, oh, he was a better player. Well, did he win more? No. Okay. So, but if LeBron was in Mike's shoes, I'd say probably 7 rings, because I think he would have beat the Pistons in '90. Okay, and then I went on to win the finals. As for Jordan, I'd say Jordan would have 4 rings right now, because he wouldn't have lost to the Mavericks. He just wouldn't have lost to the Mavericks. Like, there's no way he's losing that series. You know what I mean? It impacts my GOAT decision in a way. Then you can say, oh, well, he came back 3-1 against the Warriors. Well, yeah. But, I don't know, that 2011 series just still rubs me the wrong way. And I think in 2016, I don't think Jordan would have ever went down 3-1. So it would have been easier for him to win that series. Yeah, I don't think there's any way Jordan's losing that 2011 finals. Like with that mentality, there is no way he's losing to Dirk. And, like, no disrespect to Dirk, I love Dirk, but there's no way Jordan. Tell me if Jordan's gonna lose that playoff series or not. Tell me if Jordan's losing to the Mavericks in 2011. No, he's not. Okay, so with that being said, yeah, that's just all I gotta say, man. Those are the top 2 players of all time. There's no other way around it. Maybe Kareem, maybe not really, but Kareem's 3rd for me. But yeah, that's pretty much all I gotta say. If my top 5, just for reference: Jordan 1, LeBron 2, Kareem 3, Magic 4, Kobe 5. Okay, that's my top 5 players of all time. Definitively for me. Top 10, that's way too complicated to talk about right now, but yeah, man. Make sure I like, comment, share, subscribe, and that's pretty much all I gotta talk about today, man. Alright, peace.